What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. It is finally come. The National Week is finally here. Comfortable shoes, granola bars, hydrate, compression socks, new AC units, new Wi-Fi, backpacks, fanny packs. I have heard it all in the last couple of weeks in regards to tips for the National. My number one tip for you: have fun if you're going. Seriously, have a good time. My real number one tip to you, I say this all the time for these large shows. If you are taking cards with you to buy, sell, or trade, comp them out the night before you go. Put a little sticker on the back of it. It'll save you a ton of time and a ton of aggravation if the Wi-Fi is not functioning properly. And even if the Wi-Fi is functioning properly, just having that on the back can save you a lot of time on transactions. It has come in clutch for myself personally more times than I can count. Just get a little sticker, put it on the back of the card, and put the current comp on it. Like I said, been clutch for me over the years. In all seriousness, should be a great time this week. I'm looking forward to heading out there on Wednesday and be there through Sunday. It should be a fantastic time, and it will be a fantastic time for channel partner ComC.com. They have some great specials going on for the National. 25% off select and elite on-site submissions. We flip back to that. If you want to drop off while you're at the National, you can take cards with you, box them up, and drop them off. Or if you buy stuff while you're at the show and you don't want to haul it home and you just want to throw it up on ComC, just walk it on over to the booth and drop it off. Simple as that. So if you're not using ComC yet, maybe you don't have anything to submit, still go over, check out the website. They have a ton of fantastic cards over there for sale. As I said, the National, the countdown, 3 days, almost 4 days at the time of recording, 3 days when you were all watching this. We had Matt on from Ludex on Off-Centered this week, giving some updates on the show floor and the layout and the trade nights. And we did get some official word. He teased some stuff at the trade nights about grading companies and stuff. But we did get, this tweet actually came out earlier today, a full breakdown on all the trade nights. Thursdays is Card Collector 2s. Fridays is Sports Card Nonsense and Women in the Hobby. And then Saturdays is AA Mint, DAPS, and Pull Wax. It looks like PSA is going to be at a couple of these, and I saw Chris Carlin on Twitter mention that you'll actually be able to do PSA drop-offs at the trade night. So something to kind of file away in the back pocket. If you don't get into the PSA line during the day, you might be able to do a PSA drop-off submission during the actual trade night itself. So that could be pretty interesting. And should be a little bit of a convenience for some folks if you didn't get to swing by during the day. As of right now, when it comes to on-site grading, all the company stuff is out. I have the plan. I actually already printed out the submission form that I will be grading. I have a Ghost Spider / Spider-Gwen Red PMG that I will be grading on-site at CGC. And I have a potential crossover card for CGC. That one I am not sure about. Those are my only plans for on-site grading personally, at least walking into the show. We'll see what happens during the show, but generally speaking, I don't grade a ton on-site. But CGC's price at $30 a card for end of show turnaround, that's without any discounts, you cannot beat. Speaking of, one other nice little update about the National this week. The weather gods have blessed us. Look at this right here. Wednesday, high 77, 75, 76, 79. The hottest day, 80 degrees on Sunday. That's right, the weekly sports card market update. Your home for price changes, news, and the weather together on the 10s here at the YouTube channel. But yeah, weather looks like it's going to be absolutely spectacular as well. Obviously, it has been a wild and crazy news week. We had the SGC stuff, the Jeff Wilson / PSA repack stuff. A lot of that's already been covered on the lives and the interviews and the reaction pieces to the SGC Peter news. It has actually been a pretty busy news week. I expect news to continue. This is something that popped up this week that has not come to fruition yet. GameStop had some interesting filings for trademarks. We don't really know a ton about this yet, but it looks like they have something brewing with a marketplace. And given that it is the week of the National, I have a sneaking suspicion if they were going to announce something, it's probably going to be very soon. So we'll see if this pops up this week. I'm just kind of flagging this as something to keep our eyes peeled for. If we get formal announcement on something of what's going on, I will do a video on it. But they do have some interesting trademark filings. And this post over on Stockwits seems to point towards some sort of marketplace, online marketplace that is for trading cards. Obviously, TCG will be a big play in that, as they have a lot of focus in the Pokemon specific category. But they obviously do the sports cards. My hunch, just because they already have a bunch of integrations with PSA, I don't know if PSA would be involved in this somehow. We will have to wait and see and find out. But keep your eyes peeled. We'll see if something pops up. And if it does, obviously, if news and noteworthy enough, we will throw out the red alert thumbnail and do a quick hit on it, or something for the next day. So we'll see what pops up in the GameStop world, but keep an eye on that heading into National Week. And we'll see if any other companies have anything else. Does Beckett have anything up their sleeves? Does CGC have anything up their sleeves in regards to specials or changes or anything like that? If, with the SGC news, boy oh boy, it would be awfully smart to have some sort of marketing stuff out there this week. You know, if I was one of these grading companies, I would be offering a crossover service, whether it's SGC specific or not. I'd be like, hey man, you want to send SGC slabs in and get them crossed over? 25% off, 15% off, whatever the case might be. I would be offering something. You're going to tell what, if any, of the companies actually want to try to make a play at anything, because there is a vacuum in there right now. Go read the comments on all. I read the comments on my videos. I went and watched a bunch of other content creators that did videos on the SGC stuff and scrolled through the comment sections. A lot of people are sour on the SGC brand after the Peter exit, and there is a space there for someone to swoop in and try to grab that business. Now, the problem is, are the companies equipped to handle the business? This goes back to what Ryan Hogue said about SGC, that for them to essentially level up, they were going to need a large investment of money. And that, you know, take SGC out of it. If CGC wants to get bigger, better, and faster, they're probably going to have to spend some money to do it. If Beckett wants to get, I know I'm laughing just saying it, bigger, better, and faster, they're going to have to get out there and spend some money to do it. This stuff does not happen for free. Are any of the companies willing to spend to better their product, to go out there and try to fill this gap? I don't know. Up to this point, they really haven't showed it. The only company that has continued to invest money into itself and continue to expand the business and bring out new features and improvement is the Evil Empire, the Death Star, PSA. PSA has had more announcements in the last 8 months than all the other grading companies combined with real features. We'll see if anyone else tries to step in and takes that second place position, because it is wide open. I mean, it's kind of CGC's right now by default, but if Beckett wanted to make a run, could they? I mean, if you remove the Beckett of it all, in theory, but let's be honest, I don't think anyone has confidence that's going to happen. CGC, the door is wide open. If I was CGC, the first thing that I would do is stop focusing on all this junk for the repackers that's clogging up your workflow. Shove them to the side. Tell them you don't want the business right now. Focus on actual core customers submitting cards and get your turnaround times down to as fast as possible. SGC gave people the playbook. Quick turnaround times. Get those 100,000 Ohtani 50-50 cards out of the way. Clear the decks. And get cards back in regular submitters' hands as quickly as possible. I think that would potentially be their path forward to gain a little bit of that and start getting some traction, because right now they have zero traction in the sports card world. We'll see what happens. But big week for companies this week with the National. If anyone's got anything announcement-wise, you're going to hear about it this week. We'll see if Beckett has anything up their sleeves or non-hobby grading companies as well. Tradition like any other. FOMO for San Diego Comic-Con. I have never gone to San Diego Comic-Con. It has been on my want list for a while to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I've just never been able to pull it off. It's not necessarily the financial aspect. It's more of a timing thing. For whatever reason, San Diego Comic-Con is always right in lockstep with the National. Last year, it was the same exact time. This year, it's going on right now. It's just hard for me to take 2 weeks off my real job back to back, or a week off back to back. One to go to San Diego and then to do the National the following week. I would love to do it. Maybe one day I'll just bite the bullet and do it. But my FOMO for San Diego Comic-Con is once again rising by the day. One thing that I noted going on, actually a couple things going on out there. Topps had a limited Marvel release. It sounds like it's going to go wide. The mint cards look all right. I watched Justin's box opening video of it. PSA has a massive presence out there right now with comic books. It seems like that booth has been pretty busy. A lot of good feedback I've been seeing on social about that whole experience. Panini, of all people, did this little Stan Lee set that we have up on the screen here. Kind of an interesting backdoor way to make a Marvel card without needing the Marvel license. These have been pretty popular, and some of the insert or the chases, I guess, have been selling pretty well. So a lot going on out there in the San Diego Comic-Con verse of it all. One of these days, I love New York Comic-Con. It's absolutely fantastic, but there's something about the allure of San Diego Comic-Con that I would like to scratch that itch at least once before my con days are over. New York is an absolute cluster bleep as it is, but I would kind of like to get in the mix at San Diego at least once. Let's transition over to the Market Movers segment of the show. Link in the description down below. If you want to check out Market Movers, you could save a little bit of money, get a free trial by using the link below if you want your own charts and graphs to play around with. So up on the screen here, we have the other big news of the week. Topps Chrome came out this week, and boy, oh boy, it's okay. I was going to do a whole video about skipping Topps Chrome. I had it all in my head. I hadn't recorded it yet. And then the Jeff Wilson stuff happened. The SGC stuff happened, and it derailed the whole thing. And that video will probably just never see the light of day because it wasn't recorded. So essentially, my general take was the checklist seemed a little watered down on the autographs. The regular checklist was inflated, making it harder to hit MVP buybacks. The rookie checklist was so on the regular like refractor stuff. It was, really just James Wood. On the auto stuff, they did more on this in a second. Nick Kurtz is in there, but he does not have a regular base card. They're saving him for update, but cheated him in on the auto checklist. And boy, oh boy, are those selling for a metric ton, especially after this weekend. So I passed. Hobby boxes are sitting at about $270. The jumbo boxes are sitting at about $540. I do have some single prices pulled up here. I just looked at the refractor just to kind of show you kind of how weak the mainline checklist is. James Wood, base refractor, $20. Jacob Wilson, $15. Roki Sasaki, who's been god awful this year and hurt, 10. Kim on the Dodgers isn't even playing full time. Ben Rice, Dylan Cruz has been hurt for half the season. And it really falls off the face of the earth after that. So not a ton of chases on the base rookies. Now there's SPs. There's some cool inserts and things like that. Like if you're chasing Otanis and Judges. And I did just see, speaking of Judge, I don't know the details yet. As I am recording this, it looks like Judge may have a bad elbow. Something with his UCL, but just require no surgery, it looks like is required, but don't know how long he's going to be out for. So now suddenly the AL MVP race is going to be in question. And I believe Cal Raleigh does not have a base card in 2025 Topps Chrome. So I don't know what that means for the MVP buyback, what they're going to do in that situation. Are they going to use the one, they're going to put them in Topps Chrome update and say that those ones count? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens and how that all plays out. A lot of time still left in the season. That could change 10 more times, but that's just kind of something to monitor as well. So 2025 Topps Chrome, I said no. Did you all chase any of it? Because I sure did not. I looked at it and I went, you know what? Nah, I don't like that this doesn't come out during the National. I liked when it released during the National. I know that it was only 1 year that it did that, but it added this extra little element to it that I really liked. Speaking of Nick Kurtz, I did mention that he does have a rookie auto in this product, and boy, oh boy, it's a redemption, and it is selling for a metric ton of money. There are a couple different variations out there, but you can see even the base is going for about, that's $500 there, $450 there, $400 there. And his prices are obviously very fluid depending on what time of day. Yesterday, you look at it with him having an absolutely insane, was it 6 for 6 with 4 home runs? Wild stuff. He has been on a nuclear level the last couple of weeks. And boy, oh boy, Topps did not hesitate. We have the Topps Now card. This actually just posted a couple of hours before I started recording. And I got to admit, the 1-of-1 chase on this is pretty cool. It is a 1-of-1 Nike swoosh with a 4 home run club inscription on it. So fun little chase card here. A bunch of different relics and redemptions and autograph cards, and the whole numbered parallels. I'm not going to lie. I degened on one. I purchased one of the 5 packs. I'm sure I'll get smoked on it, but you never know. I still haven't gotten my Tiffany Stratton yet. That's still listed as a pending redemption on my page. So hopefully I should see that sometime soon. I guess I won the lottery on that one. But this will probably be a pretty big chase. People will be going after this one pretty hard now. Is he still relevant by the time you get the card? Who knows? More on that in just a second. His autographs have gone absolutely wild. I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to hop over and look at 130 point because Market Movers lags just a little bit by like a half a day, and some of the stuff from late last night and this morning is not on here yet. His first Bowman PSA 10 from 2024 Bowman Draft is up 37%, now up to almost $500 with an asterisk on that. The base the raw version is at $250, and you can see that explosion in price on the 25th/26th yesterday and today. But when we go over here and look at 130 point and look at the most recent sales, in fact, I'm going to refresh this again because I've had this open for a couple of hours. You can now see his base, $1,400. His refractor, $2,200. Another base auto for $1,100. His prices have gone absolutely insane. So just from like a day, they have leveled up way more. It is crazy what his stuff is selling for now. Nick Kurtz to the moon, to the absolute moon. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't always last. Let's float over and look at, remember when just a month ago, Jack Caglione was supposed to take over the hobby. Roman Anthony was supposed to take over the hobby. Jacob Mizorowski, he's actually still pitching pretty good. He is kind of taking over the hobby. But from the hitter standpoint, a month, 2 months ago, Jacob Wilson was going to lead everyone to the promised land. Chase Burns got a little hype on him. A lot of these guys are already cooled way off. Jack Caglione, up over the year, but down quite a bit. His first Bowman we've talked about it a ton, got up to that $1,200 mark, just like Nick Kurtz's is now. It's currently sitting at $600. Roman Anthony, he's been okay. His topped out at what? $850 is now currently at $645. Jacob Wilson, the neon green line, he topped out at almost $700. He is currently $350. You're up a ton if you bought in the preseason, but if you bought at the peak, you're getting punched in the face. Jacob Mizorowski still going to the moon. His stuff is still going absolutely crazy. So we'll have to see where that settles in at, but much lower pop counts on his. His stuff was not heavily graded. Keep that in mind. Only pop 45 on this card. There's going to be a lot more of them out there. The timing really matters. But you could see how quickly half the names on this list were the future of baseball, the next greatest thing. They were going to lead us into the promised land. And now, a month later, nobody cares about these guys anymore. And we're all on the Nick Kurtz hype train. Justifiably so. Guy looks awesome. But that's how quickly this stuff can move. If you have Kurtz stuff, I get it. You probably don't want to sell it. You're probably all excited about it. You think he's going to go to the moon and back again. I'm just saying, we've seen this time and time again. If you have multiples, it might not be a bad idea to let some of them go. Even if you don't have multiples, I would be taking a hard look at whatever Kurtz stuff I have and thinking about whether or not is this they let you buy it back situation. Because always remember that, I don't know if it's rule number 1 or not, but one of the rules of the channel is they always let you buy it back. So if you sell it and you really love the card, you could always buy it back again. Unless it's a ghost card where it's a 101 or a debut patch or something crazy like that, obviously a different story. But 98.9% of the cards out there, they let you buy them back. You could find it again. It'll be okay. Might not be a bad idea to take a hard look if you're sitting on a bunch of Nick Kurtz stuff. That is all I got for you, boys and girls. Content is probably going to be all over the place this week. Obviously, no weekly sports card market update next week due to the National. The only video I have bouncing around my head at this point is just talking about what I am looking to chase after at the National heading into the show. I like to do that and then compare back to it to see what I actually ended up buying at the show. So that's going to be floating around at some point in time this week. I'm sure we're probably going to get some other hobby news this week just because it's National Week. Companies like to get that stuff out the door. And then starting Thursday morning, you will start to see the daily National vlog style recap videos. I'm planning on recording one a day throughout the show and then posting them the next morning, most likely, kind of encompassing the day. If there are certain things that you would like to see, sights, sounds, whatever, fire off in the comments below. Let me know what you're looking to see from the show floor. And then I don't know if I'm actually going to go to the show on Sunday. I always reserve the right to. I can go to the show if I want to. I typically don't because I'm usually burned out by then and I have a 6-hour drive home. So usually Sunday it's just get in the car and drive home, but I can technically go to the show if I really need to. I actually really enjoyed going to the show on Sunday last year, but it was local to me, so it was a lot easier. But it was a nice vibe in there on Sunday. Way more mellow, way easier to walk around and look at stuff. And I'm just kind of generally curious to see how busy the show is going to be. How crazy is the show going to be compared to last year in Cleveland and the year before in Chicago? And the other piece of news we could potentially get by the end of the weekend is where is it going to go after Chicago in the Battle of Atlanta and Detroit? I am on hashtag Team Detroit. We'll see what happens. That's all I got. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.